I'm Dr. Anthony Gustin.
And I'm Chris Irvin.
This is question number 73 of 268 questions that we answered in our book, Keto Answers, which you can find on Amazon, that details every single thing you need to know about the ketogenic diet.
Yeah, so in this video, we're going to be talking about what is the best way to get the highest quality beef.
Yeah, so a lot of people, they do a ketogenic diet and they don't focus on quality, and we think that it's a huge miss. You know, we have tons of other videos and content about that, sort of explaining our take on it, whereas, you know, being in a state of ketosis is one part of nutrition, but food quality is a whole other part that I think people should focus on. So while technically you don't need to have the best source of meat to be in a state of ketosis, it's going to go a really long way to help you find your best health, whether that's putting on muscle mass, whether that's, you know, having reduced inflammation, fat loss, etc. So food quality is really important here.
Yeah, and I think it's a pretty tough conversation to have because in general it's more expensive to have higher quality food, and a lot of people kind of look at this as like a burden and think that that they should just cut corners. And I think really the better thing to do is we should be looking at our health as an investment and knowing that, you know, we believe that there is a big difference, and research has also shown that there is a big difference between, in the case of beef, you know, grain-fed beef versus, you know, grass-fed, grass-finished beef. And I think that's something that we're going to see becoming a lot more apparent as we start seeing more people following the ketogenic diet and maybe not experiencing all of the health benefits that we would expect them to. And that's typically usually a result of not consuming the highest quality foods that they can.
Yeah, so the way I like to think about this problem is, one, not only like where can I get the healthiest, but how can I get it the cheapest? And so the easiest way to do it is go to a website called eatwild.com. And that is something where you can go in there and find all the ranches that are local to you. You can go out and visit them, but basically what you want is you want an animal that lives the way it was supposed to be living. So walks around, eats grass. Cow stomachs were evolved to, they have 4 stomachs, allow them to ferment grass and turn it into the meat that they have. And so this is really important that, you know, if they do that, they eat grass, a lot of times what happens is the ranches then put them into a grain-fed state before they're brought to slaughter, because they can fatten them up really quickly. Just like if we ate tons of grains and tons of carbohydrates, we get really fat really quickly. Same thing happens with beef. But unfortunately what happens then, that also like pushes all of the nutrients that are stored from eating all of that grass, pushes all those out of the body. So basically you have a grain-fed cow, even though they were grass-fed for the majority of their life. Just because we're trying to get more weight on them so the carcasses can sell for more, and so people, you know, like the fatty cuts. And so the best thing is to find a ranch near you that has grass-fed meat and go in with some people, or ask them if you can buy a fourth or a half or even a whole cow. You get way, way better prices this way, and it can become, you know, as affordable as grain-fed meat that you get at the supermarket. You know, ground meat, ground beef at $3, $4 a pound, instead of some places that charge $9, $10, $12 a pound for grass-fed meat.
Yeah, and if you don't think that there's a difference between the two, you can just go buy grass-fed, grass-finished beef and buy grain-fed beef and compare the two, and you'll see just visibly there's a big difference. There's a big difference in its color, the way that it cooks, and even the way that it tastes. So it's obvious that there is something different between these meats, and the difference is the micronutrient profile that you're getting from it. So a lot of people who are eating plants and trying to experience the benefits of plants, you're not going to get those from eating plants. You're going to get those from eating beef that is eating the plants for us, because like he was talking about with their digestive systems, they're actually able to absorb those nutrients and store them in their muscle meats in a way that we can absorb them better. So that's, you know, if you're trying to get the highest quality meat and you're trying to get the best of everything in your diet, you're going to want to make sure that you're looking at that grass-fed, grass-finished. Yeah,
it's very simple. I mean, grains that have a lot of nutrients in them, regardless if a cow or an animal eats them. So if a cow eats tons of those, you know, they accumulate those nutrients or lack thereof in their tissues. Same thing with grass. There's way more nutrients in things that are green, things that are colorful. The animal accumulates all that stuff over their entire life, then we want to accumulate whatever that animal accumulated.
Yeah.
So if you, for whatever reason, you know, went to Eat Wild, can't find a ranch in the area, you can't afford grass-fed stuff, another alternative you can do too is that a lot of this stuff, positive and negative, comes in the fat. So like you said, there's a difference between that. If you cut out, you know, grass-fed as an option, and you can only get grain-fed, try to stick for the leaner cuts here. So get cuts that have 0 or really lean fat. Don't get high percentage, you know, don't get ribeyes, don't get the fatty ground beef, and then instead get that, and then see maybe if you can add a high-quality butter or ghee or coconut oil on top of that to get your fat source. Again, you're going to be getting way less nutrients, but if you're in a pinch, you can't find it, you can't afford it, whatever, that's an option to kind of play best of both worlds.
Yeah, and I think the best advice that he touched on a little bit earlier is just go in with some friends. Like, you know, find some other people who are eating the same way as you are. You know, here at Perfect Keto, a lot of us are following the keto diet. A lot of us are eating a lot of red meat. So what we do is exactly what he said. We'll find a rancher around here, and then we'll all go in on buying this meat so that we can actually get it at a pretty affordable price and know that it's a great quality source as well.
And use other parts of the animal.
Yeah, don't forget the organ meat.
Organ meat, bones, connective tissue, you know, just fat and trimmings. You can make a lot of stuff out of that. So use the whole animal, buy local, eatwild.com. You'll be in a good spot.
Yep.
If you're looking to simplify everything you need to know about the world's most confusing diet, head on over to Amazon.com and pick up Keto Answers today. The best part about it is that you're not just getting basic information. It's almost like you're getting a tiny little version of me and Chris shrunk down, put in your pocket to answer every question you have along your way.
And that's not weird, it's beneficial.
It's the best.